Those who dream are the ones who own the future. What's your next dream? Let's create it together.
Well, hello and welcome to the Cedric Show. But clearly I'm not Cedric, but I intend to take over. I'm so comfortable, I'd even taken off my shoes. These things of Cedric, put on shoes, ties and all. Now this to be money day. So I was too comfortable, but intending to take over on this show. And my guest today, I have to introduce you. My guest today is none other than my very own Honorable Cedric Ndirima. Hi Cedric, welcome to the Cedric Show.
Now what do I do?
You say thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's supposed to be me asking these questions.
And we're proudly in partnership with MTN, and we're seated right now at Speak Apartments along Wampel Avenue. So you can now take over.
She did the whole show. You're not here. Yeah.
No, I have mine.
Oh, you have yours?
Yes, I was ready for you.
Okay. First of all, she didn't even introduce herself. Or does she have to?
You're the one to introduce me. Okay, I'm Karitas, and it's a Cedric Show.
Guys, welcome to the Cedric Live Show. I'm here with Karitas Karisimbi, one of Uganda's best known entertainment personalities. She's been in radio, she's been in television, she has her own talk show, she goes on holiday for 7 years and comes back. Yeah. You know, all these different things. You know, they call that a hiatus.
You forgot something, aka Nalongo.
AKA Nalongo. Can you imagine? So
I'm the only one allowed to do this because mine are two.
Yours are two. Okay, fine. Okay, so Karitas is one of the best known entertainment personalities in this country, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Karitas.
It's all mine, just to be here. I mean, to be on this other side and to be with you.
You remember a few years ago we planned that we were going to have a talk show together.
To eat.
But now we're on the show together.
Okay, but we can continue this relationship.
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about them. My people will talk to your people. And you have a big group of people.
Yeah, but some of them can't speak. Some of them are just there.
They're where they should be, okay.
But they're good at what they do.
I see. The set is intimidating. You know, being on this side is one thing, but being on a set that you even have the one of counting down, action. Those are, you're showing off, but I'm glad to be here.
We do that for the sponsors, MTN.
Do they see the thing? Or she has to come back and say MTN?
No. Let's not go there. But at least you know that's to remind me that I have to thank them for sponsoring the show.
And you have the whole show. It's like you've been doing this for years.
A long time.
Yeah.
Huh? You think so?
You're so cool with it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Bukat take 10, take 9.
No. We have to. We've learned from you guys. You guys have been in the industry for a long time.
Don't say you grew up watching me, because surely we grew up almost together.
No. I would be lying if I said that. But I found you doing it.
That's very true. That one is very true.
That's where it is. Okay, now let's get into the show. Karitas, tell these good people, right, about how you got into this TV entertainment business. Even before that, who is Karitas? Hey,
you know that question I ask people a lot, but I just never knew what I would say when it would be asked to me like now. Karitas. Karitas is just a hardworking, God-fearing, God-loving, mother of 2, been in the media for 2 decades. Don't start counting, but yeah. And I work on radio as well. Yeah. What do you say to that question? Who's Karitas?
No, tell me. You grew up in Uganda or you grew up somewhere else?
I grew up all over.
Okay, tell me. Where did you grow up? Let's start with the beginning.
Okay, I promised to edit my Kabozi. But I talk for a living, so I don't know how I'll be able to edit it. But yeah, going back a little bit in history, being a Rwandan, many of us know that we've moved, many people know that the Rwandese moved around a lot, or so traveled a lot at one point in their lives. And I'm one of those. I was born here, and then we moved to Nairobi, for many other reasons. And then we were there for a couple of years, then we moved back here and been here since.
Yeah, so tell me, how did you get into the entertainment business?
Entertainment business, networking, but how? My first job, I was a waitress.
A waitress?
Yes.
I bet you many people don't believe that.
I know, right? They think I'm just dressing up my story.
And that you grew up in the ghetto. We've heard these stories.
Yes, I did. If I start telling my story, but yes, it's a long one. But yeah, it was. I started working earlier than most. Instead of going to uni, I started working.
Yes.
Responsibilities kicked in. I had siblings that hadn't yet gone through it all. Single mom and all.
Yes.
Same story for many Africans. But I had to step in.
Okay.
I think God put me here for a purpose, and that was me beginning my purpose. Just taking care of siblings and being able to see them through school, at least to where I had reached in Form 6. So yeah, so I had a job at International, and that hustle was very, very real. You know, being a waitress, a young girl in that environment, dealing with all sorts of clients and alcohol around, and it's, you know, at night, the pressure, you know, but we grew up in a good old time. I don't envy the millennials. We grew up when the pressure was less. It was less. It was much less than it is right now. But yes, I worked very hard. And during that time, I got to meet many different people. Right. And among them was a good old friend called Elvis Sechanzi. And he, of course, was working at his father's company, WBS, at the time. Yes. And there was an opening. There's a lady who is called Tilly Mwonge, who was doing Showtime at the time. Okay. And Tilly was going back to England. And she had too much accent. They couldn't get her. So they decided to look for botanical. So I was there at the right time, that's what they say. But when I met him, we were talking, and he was asking me about work, what I want to do. And two things I'd always wanted to be is Oprah. I know it sounds cliche, but yeah, a talk show host inspired by Oprah, or be a lawyer. Somehow I wanted to talk to people, for people, with people, yeah. So he told me, oh, by the way, there's an opening at WBS, would you be interested? I said, yeah. I went, I did a screen test, and everything is history.
Really?
Yeah, just like one screen test, cut, you're hired.
So from television, you do this thing in television.
Yes.
And then you move into radio.
Yeah.
Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, I know.
Usually it's radio, then you move into television.
Yeah.
So how do you make that transition from television to radio?
When I was at WBS, I got a job offer at Radio Sanyu. So I was doing them at the same time.
Yes.
So first show that I did, actually the only show that I did at Sanyu was the night show from 9 to 12. Okay. And now at WBS, Showtime happened mostly at night. Like 90% was at night. Yes. So the hours started clashing. But yes, I did radio. It was strange for me. Radio was a bit strange for me because now I was used to talking to people that I can see. Yes. Now I had to imagine. But what I did is I carried photographs of people that I loved jazzing with. I put them in the studio and take off. So during that time, things got hectic. I left Sanyu, I continued at WBS, and I moved to East Africa TV. Then I left WBS, and then I got a job offer at Capital in 2003.
And that's you're working with
Alex, and then I worked with the late Ronnie as well. I did the afternoon, then I did the breakfast. So yeah, so I've been, but TV has and will always remain my first love.
So you're back on TV now.
Yes, I am.
You have the show.
TV.
You have on NBS.
Yes, every Sunday at 8:30. We're on at the same day. Okay.
Is it Sunday at what time?
8:30.
Is it the same time?
Same day.
Same day?
Time? No, I don't think same time.
How long is your show? 1 hour?
No.
30 minutes?
No, about 20.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
They give you 20 minutes?
I know, right?
That's really disrespectful.
I know, you know?
But keen, boss, really? 20 minutes, Karitas, 20 minutes?
I know. They've got to make money as well, I guess. Wish I'm in trouble.
20 minutes? Really?
Campaign, hashtag, give me more time.
Yeah, give Karitas more time. 20 minutes, really. You know, some of us have to go to the kitchen, we come back.
I know, right?
The show is over, you know? But listen, so what have you found? You know, what the entertainment industry has grown over the years.
Yes.
You know, it's not like it was even 10 years ago. So what have you seen? What has been the biggest change in the entertainment industry, TV and radio?
Digital migration.
Digital migration.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand?
No, it expanded. I mean, us guys used to use Betacams and Sijui Nini. Editing was different, you know. Things were different then. And then also, when you're viewing, you were viewing different. We had aerials looking for different channels. Right? Yeah. And the only one we got was yours. yours for a very long time. Yeah, it's the only one that you can get wherever you are. So things have changed in that direction. But also, if I just look at this, your set alone,
yes,
the number of people you have,
yeah,
the young people that you have on your set,
the
numbers are big. Yeah, the young ones that can't talk.
The DOP was talking
they
about
just have grey hair that kind of, yeah.
I don't know what he was saying, that he saw you in...
Those are nudes that were not meant to be unleashed, but yeah.
Talking about goat races. Goat races came back after 15 years. So I don't know which goat race he's talking about.
And those goats can no longer run.
No, they were eaten. Run. You know the goats are eaten.
They got tired.
So,
so yeah, it is good to see that there's so many young people who have, the passion is still there. It's grown. You've got so many young people who are thinking outside the box. They're creating their own, you know. But again, on the other side, I feel like it hasn't really grown as I would have wished it would, in terms of, like, now when I watch your show, it's beautiful. I mean, look at your team. It's beautiful. It's clean. It is crisp. It is the production. You could tell that, you know,
I'm blushing.
Right?
Yes,
and that's the direction in which we are meant to be going. It is from the quality, not just the script alone, but even the quality of production.
Yes.
We've also got to play with on the same field with the key players.
Yes.
If someone is going to buy your product and it doesn't get to the standards that they want, then they won't take it. And then you sit here complaining, your products are not being bought, there's no market, People have come up to open for you a channel. But where's your product? The products are there, but then people need to think, dare themselves, go outside the box, recreate things, not water down what already exists, you know?
Don't copy.
Don't copy and water it down.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
try and find your own.
Be as original. People are so creative. And then people have this thing, oh, I don't have money to do this, I don't have money to do this. I know, I've been one of those. I don't have the funds to start this or start that. But I think what it takes is a good idea. And many guys have good ideas. So we just need to take that leap, you know, dare ourselves and just think outside the box and talk, network with people.
Yes.
You know, meet the different producers, camera people, and talk. You know, I've discovered that there's so many people who have cameras. Like, you find someone who has one camera and a one color pair, but they're so eager to do something. So you talk to them and say, can I shoot for you? We can shoot in 2 days. I'll put the camera here, then we'll shift, I'll put it here. We'll wait for the sun, come. Like, they want to do it.
Yes.
So people need to come out, let the ideas known, but of course, bearing in mind the copyrights and all that.
But where are these people? Because
they're there. There's so, you'll be surprised.
For me, when guys meet me, they start at 100 million.
Okay, now see, they look at Cedric. Come on, see what they're dealing with.
And they don't even know that it's not really like that.
And those ones have equipment. Like, they literally have equipment. They have bars running from here to there and all over. That's different. I mean, but I talked about one camera and one lapel.
These lights and things, you know, I don't understand. You know?
But you should see the picture. See how you look. These ones.
What are you trying to say? You mean I don't look like that?
You do, but for camera, it looks perfect.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to cut to commercial. When we come back, first of all, you're going to explain to us where you went for that. For how many years?
7 years.
7 years. Where you went? Okay, we'll be right back.
The ones who dream are the ones who own the future. What's your next dream? Let's create it together.
Speak Apartments offers you 5-star of the city into the lavish and spacious living room. Those who appreciate the finer things in life. Speak Apartments is also boring and relaxed, defines fine living. Also on the premises is East Africa's largest gym, children's play area, ample parking. Havana restaurant and bar has you covered with a number of cuisines from around the world. If it's fine dining you love, Speak Apartments defines the fun. Located at the edge of Wampeo Avenue, Speak Apartments is your luxury home in the heart of Kampala City.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, proudly sponsored by MTN and hosted at the Speak Apartments on Wampe Avenue in Kampala. On the show today, I have a good friend of mine, Karitas Karisimbi, who is one of our leading entertainment personalities.
Aww.
Karitas,
Yes.
it's always good to have you on the show. We were talking about, how you got into television, how you got into radio, how television and radio has changed over the last 10 years. You went away.
Yes.
Just when as the Minister of Finance, sweet. As soon as the sweet, you disappeared.
It remains sweet.
Yeah. So where did you go? I mean, what happened? Why did you go off TV? Why did you go off radio? And leave these youngsters to come and take your place. How?
First of all, there's room for all of us.
Yeah,
but there is only one me. I'm sorry I had to say
This
that.
is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
But yeah, I mean, I always tell people that it's when you give something your all, and I mean in everything you do in life, even in
I
relationships.
thought you were going to cry right now.
No, you thought, but you don't even have tissue. You might get emotional, you know. But yeah, when you
Just do this one, man.
I can't choose this on what I'm so.
Just But I mean, like on the
I
road
see you.
sometimes, it's okay. When you
I
at
see you
home,
now. I know you. When the
I'm
cameras are
saying
off.
this. I'm saying this because I don't want you to cry. You know.
It's funny though, but yeah, I mean, I always tell people that when you give something, you first of all give whatever you're into doing your best, and I mean it, like literally. Relationships, whether it's at work, your work, what you do, whatever it is, that way you have no regrets. Plus, also, you're able to make changes easier because you've got that satisfaction that you've already given what you have, what you're doing, or what you're meant to give its fullest. So I had done that. But on the other hand, you see, when you're in this industry, you've got to keep one side of your brain pretty alert. It's like having squinted eyes. You've got to remember to do life. And by doing life, there's the other part of you that is not work-related.
Yes,
so if you do not concentrate also on that, at one point you just be carried away. Before you know it, you're like, whoosh, no baby, no marriage, no nothing, and you're like, okay. So I just wanted to concentrate on other things.
Right.
I needed also I had gotten to that point where I'd wake up like 4 times. Like you wake up and then you're like, snooze, 5 more seconds. Like that, 4 times. So I said, I don't feel the drive anymore, you know. Not that, before I'd jump out 1 minute, I'm out of the house. But now it's like I was dragging my feet. Yeah. And then I felt like my creative self had also hit a snag. I thought to myself, I've got to get out of this bubble first and look at it from outside, and then I'll come back. It's a decision
I just to come back and do it.
Yes, and how do I? And like I say, in life there are phases. There's what's expected of a newborn. There's what's expected of a 10-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 15-year-old. There are things there's a phase you go through.
Yes.
We parted a lot. Let me speak for myself. I parted a lot in the 20s. Yeah. It was expected of me. That was the age. Yes, so you slow down. So in your 30s, there are things that are expected. So you have to let those things happen. Otherwise, then you hit a life crisis and you're struggling with life. Yes. So I said, look, let me first get out and first rejuvenate, think, look around it and restructure things. And then I went away. But in there...
But usually people take 7 days to do this.
I know, right?
It took 7 years.
No, then came the babies, came the boys.
Right.
Yes, came the boys. That is what took most of the time. But also, when I was away, I was doing some work behind the scene. Yes, I was doing like behind the camera, I was the producer, I was coming up with content and all. So I was nothing really hectic because I wanted to spend as much time as possible with my boys because their father doesn't live here. So I needed to be there. And it's the best 7 years of my life. Did I just say that? Yeah.
And then you decide to come back to television.
So then I said, I waited and I'm like, okay, so what's new? 1 year, 2 years, I see what's happening. But also, Nange, I said, Narine Banja. I wasn't yet done. You know, like Shad says, I'll be back. Actually, yes, I needed to get back to my first love, which is TV,
right,
and do exactly what I would want to do and give it my everything. So yeah, so I created content, which is a show that I'm doing right now, the chat room. But again, I thought to myself, why not go and work with a big brand and just see where this goes? And yeah, so I think I came back at the right time, and I don't regret the 7 years. Everyone was like, but how can you come back? And how sure were you'd take your footing? I said, there's just one me. And
yes,
what I give, nobody else can. So in as long as I know that and I give that, I'm good.
Now, a lot of people say traditional media is dead. Television, radio. Because now, of course, you know, everything is on social media.
Yeah.
What's your perception of social media?
Social media on a whole. This would be a story for like a whole hour. Because social media, first of all, I'd look at it from so many perspectives.
Yes.
Like you're saying, mainstream media, what we were used to, go watch your TV at home, go rush home to catch a football match and all that. Now, wherever you are, you just need to do this, have Wi-Fi or whatever it is, and you're good.
Yes.
You know, you have the movie industry also is changing. So everything on that side is changing, which we cannot really control. It's meant to happen. It's a good thing. But then now it's actually going to simplify things to a certain degree, because I can be able to create my content and just put it online. Mm-hmm. I don't need to find sponsors and and wait for that to happen. I can start, you know. So that's, you know, the side of being online. But now there's social media, which is your gossip, news platforms and and all that. There was some people I interviewed from the Social Media Fest, and they were talking about how to make social media work for you, make money out of it. Many people don't know that you can make money out of it.
Yeah,
so social media can work for you. If you're a brand, you create your brand and you just know how to work social media for you. Yes, it can do wonders for you. But there's the devil in there as well. I mean, yes, there's a humongous devil in there that is kind of keeping on growing. It worries me what is going to be in the next 5 years and all that, when parents are on social media fighting and going on about each other and dissing each other's babies, families and all. And I'm like, gee, when your kids grow up, what's going to happen? They're going to be seeing these things, and it's just going to be...
It's like a bar.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a bar, you find sensible people fighting. Yeah. You know, I don't know whether it's the alcohol or whatever.
So you just wait for the next day to meet them and see.
You know, they are, of course, and I think this is more so for the kids. Yeah. You know, for the older people, maybe not so much. But I think that social media has to be managed, like everything. You know, you can't spend, especially for the kids, because they can become addicted to certain components within social media.
When did you first buy your kids gadgets?
My first...
Forget about the tab. Okay, even those, whatever gadget. Yeah,
it's only started the last couple of years recently. I mean, my first son is 13.
From those gadgets that sing to them and recite the alphabet?
No, mine is a bit more advanced. Okay. I think he learned the alphabet when he was supposed to learn it. So around... he's now 13, so now he actually has a phone. Okay. And he has the PlayStation.
Do you worry about where they go? How do you
of course I do. Of course I do. But, you know, I think, you know, some of the time I think that a lot boils down to what we've taught them.
What you've told them.
You know, you can't really stop them, because a phone is a phone, you know. If you don't give it to them, they're going to see it on somebody else's phone.
That's very true.
If you do give it to them, you're spoiling them. So it's really... It's a fine, and of course, because this thing is a work in progress. It's not like it was there when we were growing up.
No, it wasn't.
So now we're also learning. I mean, when something is released, I mean, I got on to Twitter in 2013, 2012, something like that.
Are you on Facebook?
I'm on
Facebook.
You're
on Instagram?
Yes.
So how often do you post on Instagram?
Instagram.
Do you do it yourself though? You might have someone who manages it for you.
No. I do my own Instagram because, you know, sometimes people be sliding up in the DM.
Yes,
You know,
so
so you've got to be
ready
careful.
to catch them
Yeah, to
and stop them.
stop.
I know it's.
But I think I'm on all the platforms. Not all, but like Snapchat.
Yeah,
no,
the main.
that's for.
I imagine you
I
said
think I
there
passed.
Snapchatting.
To who now? Who would I be Snapchatting
Fine
to?
boy.
But Snapchatting,
I don't get it though.
I can find my son on Snapchat.
Problems.
I'm gonna check my dad. He's lost it. Yeah, so
Problems.
It's not, no.
It is. For me, it is really worrying because I mean, it's hard for you. You've got to. When we were growing up, I'm talking about the 90s. We did not have social media. Facebook came later. We didn't have mobile phones. They came later. But even those that, when they came, it's not all of us that had access to them.
Yes.
We didn't come from the rich homes that had phones that had padlocks on them, Wakina Muyenga, Kololo, and all the rest. But let me tell you, for every appointment we made at school, we make the appointment on Friday, and we're going to meet up on Saturday. If we say midday, you even find people at 5 to midday, they've already reached.
Yes.
But right now, even with the advancement of technology,
I'm on the way.
yeah.
I'm on the way.
And you're probably seated, you're on social media.
I think, when Gaetano and Marcus were on the show, we spoke about organic friendships.
Yeah.
And growing up in the 90s, as you said, if you had friends, they were your friends.
Real friends.
Real friends.
Diehards.
You hung out, you went to the same parties,
Yeah.
you did what you have to do together.
Yeah.
You operated in a circle, and that was your
They
circle.
invited you to their homes, you'd eat in their
Yes,
homes, and you didn't
yeah.
have to fear.
You didn't find random people. The other day, somebody told me how
Did
they...
you say random people?
Is that wrong?
No, there are many random people.
Yes. But the other day somebody told me how a particular couple, I remember their names, but I'm not going to mention them.
Yeah.
They met on Facebook. How?
You must have been spending a lot of time on Facebook.
No, I said, but how?
But
How
there are
did you
people
meet?
that I know who did that, who go like on the dating sites and
Yes.
all. Or maybe someone
Not
who
that I
slides
had
in
many,
your DM.
I didn't have many girlfriends, but I know that from my friends' experiences, they met people.
Cedric, well, are you unleashing my nudes or your
No,
nudes?
I'm not unleashing anything. They met people face to face
At parties.
at parties, at Pioneer Mall, at these different places. You went there. And,
International Hotel.
and everybody was dusty because everybody had come on these.
Yes.
There are a few guys who had cars.
Yes.
But the cars were usually quite full.
Driver would.
They were usually quite full. There'd be maybe 9 people in
18
car.
people in
yeah,
there.
So, but again, what I'm trying to say in summary,
The organic friends.
it was organic friendships. And the
Was
people
real.
who were my friends then are still my friends today.
That's the truth.
And
Yeah.
this thing that I met, I don't have a Facebook friend. Like someone I met on Facebook.
Okay.
When I meet somebody and they say, I saw you on Twitter. What do you mean you saw me?
We were in there. You saw us.
But anyways, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to commercials. We'll be right back with Karitas. We're talking about organic friendships. This show is proudly sponsored by MTN and hosted at the Speak Apartments on Wampuyo Avenue in Kampala. We'll be right back.
The ones who dream are the ones who own the future. What's your next dream? Let's create it together.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speaker Apartments on Wampe Avenue in Kampala. On the show today, I have none other than Karitas Karisimbi, one of Uganda's leading entertainment personalities. She's been in the game a long time, she has a lot of experience, and we're sharing it here today. So Karitas, before we went to break, we were talking about organic friendship.
Yes.
And the difference between that and what I suppose the millennials have to go through.
Yeah, it's sad.
I think, well, I guess they have their own little, they can do multiple things.
But they're under so much pressure in deciding who's organic and who's not. That's where the problem is. It's such a thin line. If I hang with you, we Snapchat together, pop bottles together, we kind of have the same hair or the same phone. We're cool like that.
Yes.
That's how we are. That's the friendship we have. Yeah. As compared to the organic friend that kind of sees you at your worst, sees you as you are, the raw form, the other part of you without the hair, without whatever it is, they have a lot of pressure right now in finding such friends. The friends do exist, organic friends still exist, but then finding them is where the challenge will be.
Yeah, I think, they have different challenges, they also have different opportunities because they can...
Please say that again.
They have different opportunities which are a bit, but again, everything changes. We were different from our parents.
Yes.
They're different from us. They're not exactly our children. It's somewhere in between.
I know, right? Because even the parenting, we still have to figure out, we have to create our own print of how we're going to raise them. Because we have to understand that they're not the 90s. Yes. They're not, they're somewhere in between, and you kind of have to catch up with that as well. Yes. And find out what formula do I use for me to help them get through their own hard time. Yeah,
well, it's people like you. What would be your advice? Let's say there's a young lady, right? And she wants to get into entertainment. She wants to get into radio, television, film, whatever it may be. What would be your advice to somebody like that today? She's a young waitress working somewhere who has to work because she has to make ends meet. What would be your advice to a young Karitas?
First, I'd want to know why they want to get into that industry, just to understand them, not to demoralize them in any way. No, I would want to understand because, like I said, passion takes you farthest.
Yes.
When you start to feel like, this sounds cliche, but it's true, when you start to feel like what you do is a job, which is what I was telling you, when you wake up 4 times and you just don't want to leave your bed, that's the problem. Because you're looking for longevity in what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So, like me, it's the passion. I love what I do. And there are people who sometimes get into something and then they later on fall in love with it and it grows on them. Yeah. But it requires patience, hard work, and all that. And it's not everyone who can give equal measure. Yes. But then I've met them. I've met many who feel I should be their mentor, who feel they look up to me, they want to get into the industry. And then I've also found some who want me to connect them for a job. Yes. Now, those two people, the one who wants to join the media, let's talk about TV or even radio. After I found out if it's why you want to go in there, if it is a passion, it's something that you've studied, it's something that you've always wanted to do, and then we talk. What would you want to do? How from 5-10 years away from here, where would you want to see yourself? And then the person who comes to ask me to connect them for a job, I actually get angry at them. But because they don't know, I understand. Yeah. Because I told them, look, you should not come and ask for a job. Create your own job. Right. Since you want to come into this industry, now I'm talking TV, because radio might be a bit different. But even radio now, it's possible. But TV, the playing field for TV is way bigger than it is for radio. Mm-hmm. Now, for TV, what I would tell you is, if you really want to get into TV, you have your whys lined up and you know why, then I want you to create something for yourself. Come up with an idea of a show. Mm-hmm. It will be easier for you to get into the industry. You've come with a concept. Make sure you've protected yourself, protect your content, which is a hard thing right now. We don't have the laws really out there yet.
But there are some things that you're always been trademarking and copyrighting and things like that. But it's expensive as well.
It is expensive, but I mean, it depends. If like say you're starting out and you're thinking, how do I get into the legal side of things, and you feel it's going to drag you, you need a lot of funds to do that. It's okay. Since it's all up in here, I keep telling people it's all up in here, you can always create another one and let that one go be your foundation. You don't have to own it really. You can just sell it and then maybe own the next one really. It's just you creating something for yourself that will go a long way, will create a brand for you that you will love because you created it yourself, other than go and be told what you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, but go for the dreams. I mean, they're very valid. I was a waitress. Look at me now on the Cedric show. You know?
Now, you know, why did you have to go?
That's where I am now. Come on, allow yourself to shine.
Okay, we'll allow ourselves to shine. But listen, the entertainment industry, you know, last year the entertainment industry brought 1.46 billion, 146 billion shillings.
And the largest contributor being who?
1.46 billion, 1.46 billion, yes, 1.46 billion.
Okay,
Or is it?
and
And something like that. And it brought a lot of money to our GDP.
Yeah.
And what's your feeling on the entertainment industry? You know, one of the things that always challenged me, I have a company called Kinetic. And one of the things we used to do was manage people in the entertainment space. I don't do it anymore. But
can I ask why? Before?
I just found, I'm going to tell you why now. Okay. I couldn't find an exit strategy for every time you invest in something, you must find a way to get your investment out. Now, the biggest challenge was that you're investing in artists. For example, you go and make a video, or you go and make an album, or whatever it may be. How then do you recover your money? People say shows, but people don't know that shows are not as lucrative as people think they are.
And again, you're also investing in the shows.
You're investing a lot in the production, the behind the scenes, the lights, everything that people don't see. What they see is the artist.
Yeah.
And they see a lot of people standing there, but doesn't necessarily translate into profit. So, to answer your question of why I stopped with that is that I couldn't, there was no protection of the artist. For example, if you're managing an artist and you take their song to radio, in Uganda, the radios are not paying for it. In developed economies, they're getting royalties from their particular songs. So that way, being a manager of a...
You collect on that.
Being a manager of a Chris Brown is very different from being a manager of a Bebe Cool. If you understand what I mean. There's a lot more in it. Because there's a lot more places, there's branding, there's... So many different things. So that's why it was more... So what is your feeling on this industry? Because it's difficult. And I know only maybe 5 or 6 of the top artists in Uganda make money. 5 or 6 of the presenters, maybe 10 presenters make money.
Yeah.
You know, what happens to the rest? I said there's so many.
Yeah.
What happens to the rest?
Again, we'll go back to what is it that you want for yourself?
Yes.
When you establish that, then then you start asking questions like, what do I do to establish that?
Yes.
Who do I link with to get me to that place? Right. How much do I need to invest? And then also then you start thinking, longevity, my music, how am I going to grow? It's the same thing that I was looking at. Someone we were looking for music when I was with MTV at one point, base, and they ended up closing shop here. Just again for you, I think you knew about that. The music, the quality that was coming out wasn't really good at the time, and then there was not much coming out of this nation. But I realized that people had been thinking within the bubble for a very long time.
Yes.
Musicians are looking for a quick kill. So what is the quick kill? That I've got a couple of weddings this weekend. I've got a couple of show-ups here and there. This weekend I'm going to earn. This weekend, Balamu million in Gakumi. So you see, people said, it is slowly that people have brands that have started understanding that you need to do more than just that, especially in our market, because we are not yet there. And I don't know why we are failing to get there. Because I was looking for a manager, still am, like literally. But it is hard. Like I had sat down with people and they're like, it's going to be the hardest thing for you because first of all, they need to understand what their role is going to be. And that in itself creates a complication. But you see, a manager then will understand what you are meant to also have in mind, bear in mind, is how do I grow my brand? That's when you have ambassadorial jobs, you've got model jobs, whatever, all those other gigs that come in that keep pushing you into a different network altogether.
Yes.
And not saying to stay in the safe zone, which is music, weddings and all that, and appearances, and make a quick kill and put up this and that. But then what do you want to do after that? Do you want your brand propelled out of Africa? Do you want to go and compete in the Nigerian market? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yes.
But it's until people think outside the box, challenge themselves, recreate themselves. You don't have to look like the other. The other one did this, you have to do this. You being different, you being different is what could even propel you even further. I mean, you stand out, So it's up to people to now think outside the box. What else can I add to my brand to grow my brand to take me to different places and not just stay in the safe zone?
Keep yourself interesting.
Yes, that's the thing.
Keep yourself interesting.
You're posting all these things, there are all these likes, but are those likes propelling you further?
Yes.
You understand? Is it working to your advantage? So it's really understanding your brand, its growth, where you see yourself in a couple of years. But people don't have the time and patience to figure that out.
These likes are going to make people go crazy.
I know.
Looking for that.
If you have one
I saw somebody yesterday
crazy.
celebrating the blue tick. The blue tick.
Yeah.
Anyway, but when we come back, we're going to go to commercials. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Karitas, the entertainment industry, her show, everything she's doing. This show is proudly sponsored by MTN, and we're hosted at the Speak Apartments. We'll be right back.
The ones who dream are the ones who own the future. What's your next dream? Let's create it together.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show, sponsored by MTN and hosted at the wonderful Speak Apartments on Wampo Avenue in Kampala. On the show with me today is Karitas, one of Uganda's leading entertainment personalities. We've been speaking about many different things, organic friends,
social media,
where Karitas has been, and you now have a show on NBS, the Chat Room.
Yes, I do. The Chat Room.
Tell me, what's the show about? What is the
Chat Room? I believe everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has their life's journey that takes you to all sorts of corners.
Yes.
And that creates the story. So everybody does have a story. So I just created a platform for people to share their story. And the story being any point of your life that you would want to share to inspire someone, to inform, to enlighten. And boy, that has been a roller coaster for me. Still is. There's so many stories out there. There's so many. It's so amazing how we're all so alike in strange ways. While you think the hustle is only yours, you find someone else who is rock bottom. So it kind of propels you up. You're like, ish, I am still good to go. So so I've had so many stories from cancer survivors, acid attack survivors, domestic violence, stories of triumph, success. I've spoken to Don Moen, I've spoken to different people, not only celebrities.
Which are your favorite interviews? Give me your top 3.
My top 3 favorite interviews.
Yeah.
Bobby Wine. I liked
You did Bobby Wine?
Yes, I did. That was when he had just come in, and a few months after their kung fu fight. So we sat down and talked about that, and also just being with him on set and looking at him as an honorable, it was so strange because he's my friend from before. So it took a lot for me to actually remember he's honorable. I've got to keep remembering he's not just your, but then now he's an honorable. So
yeah, he's a member of parliament.
that, yes, so he's a member of parliament. And then also I had Jackie Chandiru. Now it has two sides of the story, because for me, seeing her and her being able to come out to have a chat was moving. But for me, the downside was I felt she wasn't ready. She was not ready to do any of what she was doing, not even to be on that interview. Like, I hated myself for having her there. But then I thought that maybe it was a journey of recovery, and maybe from then on we were moving upward. But yeah, I didn't feel like she was ready, so I've always remembered that interview. Then Don Moen, meeting Don Moen was just humbling.
Yes.
He's so cool. Like, he waited, we were late. You know how these people can be.
Yeah.
Cable running here, microphone, battery, card is not there, and he's smiling. He's really kawa, not the Muzungu fake smile. No. He was really genuinely very okay. He's so down to earth, and I loved it. And then he sang for my boys. So it was among many others. There's so many. I love all my interviews. MC Cats. I've had. Then there's somewhere I've cried. We've stopped, and Moses. Yes, a tribute to Moses. That should have been number one. The tribute to Moses. That was a dark one. That was hard to shoot, but it was.
Are you talking about which Moses?
After Radio passed. We did a tribute.
Okay.
Yeah, After he died, we had a tribute, and it was
sad story.
It was very, very hard to shoot. It was like we kept cutting, but I tell people to cut, they don't cut. They just continue seeing me in my whole messy self. But it was good.
Yeah, it's part of the business. It's part of the business.
Yeah.
There have been some sad stories. The other day I was watching a documentary about Cute Kai.
Yes, Cute Kai.
I hope he's okay now. Or maybe they.
We never know. You see, here's the sad thing about, and celebrities need to understand this. It is okay to crack. It is okay to fall. It is okay to walk into a wall. It is okay to hit the bumps, and it is okay. And you shouldn't hide any of it. When you feel you're struggling, you really have a struggle, find those people that you can talk to. I mean, don't come to social media. Don't tell your friends who are not really organic. That's why we all need organic people that we can, and they could be of the opposite sex, really doesn't matter. But you need to be able to, because we are all human.
Yes.
Even though you're a celebrity or not, we're all human. So we don't want our celebrities to struggle with things and only come out when they've really hit rock bottom, when yet we would have helped. Like now, MC Cats, this is something, I even hated myself for the fact that we were seeing him, he's there with us, but then I'm not looking, the answers are there, but then you're not looking closely.
Yes.
That's the thing about, again, organic friends, organic networks, people who will understand you and know, and say, if he's like this, there's something wrong. I look at you and I notice your eyes are different. I'm like, oh. And I don't stop until I find out. Yeah. So we need to do that. Otherwise, we're going to have a situation where many of our prominent famous people are going to start. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I think the whole celebrity culture, not just in Uganda,
everywhere,
but all over the world, is if people are not centered and they understand that they don't understand it's just their job. And they can go home afterwards and
they can do life.
They can do life. Then you get all sorts of complications, and sometimes it's tragic. You have sad stories. But again, I think for the most part, the entertainment industry in Uganda is growing quite fast. It's nice to see a variety of things going on. You have your show, my show. Different shows on
and also
radio,
the musicians are very aggressive now. They say, okay, if this is what they're doing in Hollywood, we're going to do it as well. I'm going to do it this way.
That's the benefit of social media, You know, you got to, as they say, younger is got to keep your swag on.
Yeah, you've got to.
It's got to be. You've got to match it.
Don't you see us? We've got to. You know, when they told me I have to get back on. Actually, the hardest thing for me coming back was just finding how social media had advanced, like how things were, and that I needed to get on social media, and that I needed to post to get likes and following. And following. I sat down, and it was the hardest moment for me, and that's why I thought to myself, look, how am I going to manage this? I hate being on my phone. I hate it. I had the times when I'm not on social media for a month, 2, 3, like I was not on it when they hijacked my accounts last year. They hijacked my accounts twice. So I said, what's the point of being on social media? I have like 20K followers or whatever, then tomorrow I go back to 0. And then they pressure me again with work. You've got to hit numbers and all. So the social media was a challenge for me, but I'm getting the hang of it. It works. I've realized it works.
Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure.
If you know what to.
Yeah, you've got to pull. I mean, I struggle with it as well in terms of what it can and cannot do, but we're trying to learn every day and try and improve all these things that they talk about.
And we're soon becoming silver surfers. You're soon becoming a silver surfer. A silver surfer is a person who is 50 years and over and on social media. That's a silver surfer. So
Listen here. You're on my show. Don't come here and start abusing us.
Okay, away from that.
Listen.
So, are you running for Kampala Central? Let me twist it. Yes. Are you going to give me a job? Kampala Chibede Chibuga Chafe. I want to join.
Now, you know what? Let me answer your question.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And relate it to what you said before you asked me that question. In order to stop me from being a silver surfer. Right?
What are you going to do? You're going to throw your phone?
No, listen.
Yeah.
We'll get somebody else to do it.
Okay.
Because now that you've brought in this thing of silver surf, I'm troubled. Because I'm close. I'm getting there. Right?
You have a branch to that, to the half decade. You're halfway through 100. You'll be halfway through 100, a century. Halfway through a century.
Now, why are you telling me this?
I just crossed my mind.
You know, sometimes, these midlife crises,
yes.
This is how they start.
Yes.
Somebody said something, and the next thing, Cedric was...
I know, I'm half a century almost? What? Before you know it.
People those things I'm half a century. Why are you telling
almost. No, I mean, we're all headed there anyway. Stop thinking about it. Just let it slide. Let's go back to Kampala Chibuga Chafe.
Yeah, Chibuga Chafe. Yes, I am going to run. I am going to run. And hopefully, I'm encouraging all the people to come out and vote.
Yes.
I know many of you don't vote. And I saw 93,000 of you on the register. So all of you better come out and vote.
You best vote. And I'm telling you, you vote for him. Because what are you going to do first? I haven't had your manifesto. I haven't read your manifesto. What are you going to do first when you take over the office? I have a list of things that I can give you to help you do your job very well.
You see, the first thing we need to do is, first of all, I need to listen to what your problems are. And that's going to inform what I do first.
I have so many. I have a list. Right. In fact, my list can cover everyone else's.
And you know our people in Kampala, they have lists. Lists, many lists. And it's not just sugar.
But we're going to vote for you because I feel that we need younger people who are on the ground, who actually feel what is on the ground.
Pre-silver surfer.
See, you're the one who's stressing that one. The ones who are in the house, most of them are silver surfers. They are past.
Yes, listen here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to stand. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm going to make sure that these people come out. You people come out and vote.
We're going to come and vote.
There's no point sitting down complaining about Uganda.
And not giving the right person.
And just there shouting on social media.
True.
Silver surfing.
That's true. So if you want change to happen, if you want lights in your area, if you want the drainage to be sorted, I mean, some of those problems I'm mentioning. But if you want all these problems to be sorted, you need to vote wisely. Not in a cliche form, but you really need to vote wisely. Cast your vote where it should go. Mr. Cedric Ndirima is my next Honorable Member of Parliament for Kampala Central.
And on that note, thank you for watching the Cedric live show. Karitas, thank you for coming on the show. MTN, thank you very much for the sponsorship. Speak Apartments, thank you very much for the venue.
Was brought to you by
The ones who dream are the ones who own the future. What's your next dream? Let's create it together.